Boxing held at IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, I've got the MVP, Michael Venom Page.
Yep.
Welcome to Professional Boxing. Just had your first or second press conference.
Main
announcement regarding the dates and stuff. Exciting times?
Crazy exciting times. It kind of makes everything more real. Obviously, we get this information beforehand. It's not new to us, but now it's here, and actually announcing it to people. It makes it more real. It gives you. It's going to give me more of a drive when I go to train.
Now, everyone witnessed Conor McGregor's performance against Floyd Mayweather. Coming from a mixed martial arts background yourself and the kickboxing background, I mean, you're highly respected in that field. Do forgive me, it's not my field, but so I'm hearing this stuff. How did you assess Conor's performance against Floyd Mayweather?
It went exactly how I thought it would go. It's the same thing I was saying up on the table. It's a different training, and 10 weeks is not a long enough time, I don't believe, to actually get the adequate muscular endurance. I don't think there's nothing wrong with his boxing ability over 2, 3, 4 rounds. And I think in the third round you started to see him huffing and puffing. In the fourth round you saw it go. And I think if he took his time and actually took boxing serious, then he could do well, because he's got amazing counter ability, amazing reflexes, good timing, good angles. Really, I think he done very well for MMA, and to even last with arguably the best boxer of all time. 10 rounds, I thought, was amazing. So he definitely did well, but it was a prize fight. I think everyone knew it was a prize fight. It was a prize fight. It was for show. It was more like a circus entertainment act. And I think everyone got exactly what they would have thought. I know a lot of people almost believed in Conor McGregor, and I think that's just because of his character, his charisma, his confidence in himself. Sells you like him, you know what I mean? I think that's amazing, and you need that as an athlete. But deep down, I think he knew it's and this is why I said earlier, he was only gonna go 4 rounds. I think he knew that. That's why he said, "I'm gonna knock you out in 4 rounds," because past that, and I know that he knew that he couldn't do it. But amazing performance.
Now, we saw Conor's performance, and we're yet to see MVP to see what you can do. Hypothetically, do you think you'd beat Conor McGregor in a boxing match?
Yeah, I never count myself second in a fight. And I think we can go with Conor McGregor. We can do an MMA round, we can do a boxing round, we can go back to an MMA round, we can go back to a boxing round. I still win that fight. So, yeah, I look forward to even that challenge. If that was to ever hit the table, I would take it. I'm dangerous. I've got an awkward style. It's not the normal. But this is what I hope to bring, that kind of entertaining style. As awkward as it is, it's entertaining, and I hope to bring that to boxing.
We've heard a lot of rumours about sparring. Is it true Chris Eubank Jr. beat you up in sparring?
Yeah, I'm just going to say, yeah, he whacked me up. Nah, we sparred. Like I said, it's an awkward style to take in minimal rounds. Like I said, for me, while I'm focused on MMA, my boxing rounds are just to sharpen my hands. You know what I mean? And I'm not going 12 rounds with veteran boxers. So in 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds, I'm an awkward person to spar. Deeper than that, 9 times out of 10, the boxer's going to start to come back. But this is now my focus. That's different. Now I'm actually training to be there for 12 rounds, and there's a difference. Now I'm going to be MVP for 12 rounds, and that's going to be the problem. I've had spars, and it's short rounds, and it always suits me in those short rounds. Although they are the boxer, I have massive confidence in my style, and what the guys at London Shoot Fighters teach me. So, yeah, they've had problems, but now that I'm focused on it, I think they're going to have more problems, and everyone's going to see that.
Well, now you're going to be concentrating on the boxing side of things. Is it a temptation where you've obviously used your feet, your arms, your arm bars and stuff? How do you sort of stop yourself inspiring for going into that whole sort of body routine?
I think it depends on how you train. Now, for me, my coach constantly disables me. And what I mean is, he'll say, you know what, you're not working your front hand enough. I only want to see a jab. I don't want to see anything else. Okay, legs are looking sharp. I only want to see your boxing. We're going to bring some boxing spars in. Okay, legs aren't looking great. I want to see you more kickboxing, land some more spins, land some more this, that. So he's constantly focusing areas. I'm used to turning certain things off, turning certain things on. And now I'm just having to turn one thing on for longer. I've never once in my career been boxing and felt the need to kick, just never. I just put myself in that mindset of boxing, and I am a boxer in that moment. So So I've never had that trouble.
Now, these sparring partners that you've had, you've looked at some elite level guys and some guys that are on the world level and on the cusp of world level. How are you now going to be able to compete with these guys? Do you see it as you're ready to go up against some of these top guys you've been sparring in a competitive format under the lights? Do you feel ready enough to challenge these top level boxers?
I feel ready enough to challenge them if we're going 4 rounds, if we're going 6 rounds. And this is what I'm saying. I have to be real to myself. If I'm not going in there for a big circus fight, then there's no need for me to be going 12 rounds. So I need to build myself up properly. Like I said, I'm honest when I come out here. I'm honest. And in the MMA world, I was exactly the same. I'm honest with where I feel I'm at. 6 rounds, I start to feel it, and then it becomes survival from there. I can still fight. I still got my movement that allows me to, avoid some big punches, but I'm not being me. So I don't want to be in there 6 rounds against a top fighter, and I've done amazing for 6 rounds, and then for the next 6 rounds, I'm surviving. It's not the kind of fight I want to be in. So I want to make sure that when I start challenging these big names, it's because I am comfortable at being me for 12 rounds straight. I can go in there smiling, moving around, landing shots for 12 rounds. Not for 6, not for 5, not for 4, and then having to survive for 12 rounds. So what I want to do is go in there now, 6 rounds, 4 rounds, whatever they're going to offer me. I'm not even sure what it is yet, but it's the early stages. A few times, get my body used to it, get the training behind me, get the endurance in my shoulders, then I start calling out the big names.
With CONOR McGREGOR making his boxing debut, you making your boxing debut, does it sort of put the focus on boxing being the dominant combat sport at the moment, and where the money and where it seems to be trending to be at?
Well, you know what? The money's always been in boxing. Boxing's the history in boxing it way outweighs the history in MMA. MMA is a baby. It's a new sport. There's guys that are in their 90s that watch boxing, and they are massive fans of boxing. And in MMA, you got guys that are 40, late 30s that are fans of MMA. And because of the Conor McGregor and the likes of that, the Mayweather fight, we've got a few more fans that are kind of interested and curious. But I don't think it says one's the dominant. He was fighting in boxing and he hasn't boxed before. If we was to turn that fight around and do exactly the same thing, Mayweather says, you know what? I want to show that boxing is the dominant sport. I'm gonna go to MMA, fight McGregor again in an MMA fight. You'll see the odds change. One leg kick's gonna change his life. One takedown's gonna change his life. He's gonna feel like a baby. And that's all it was. It's in whatever area it's in. He was the expert. And I think it shines good lights on both sports. I think he did well for himself and represented MMA very well. Had he not had a boxing fight. So, no, I think it does good for both sports.
Quite finally, are you retired from MMA now? Is it the sole focus of your boxing career from this point?
No, I've still got goals that I want to achieve in mixed martial arts. And I got a couple of names that I'm a bit unhappy with in MMA, so I got to write them off.
Could you be kind enough to tell us who and what's been going on?
In the MMA world, a lot of people know. As I call him Tampax. If you don't know him from that, then you don't know MMA.
Please tell us. I make no apology. I'm not
yeah.
in the MMA. I'm learning about it.
We were cool. He's another English MMA fighter. Been around a lot longer. Very established. We was cool. He was being very disrespectful behind my back. So I put it on him to have a fight. He didn't want to take it. He called me out after a fight he lost. Started calling me rude words. Then tried to run at me outside the fight. Created all this big palaver. So I was like, perfect, no problem. I announced that, okay, let's make this fight happen. He pulled out. He didn't even pull out. He didn't accept the fight again. So it was just ongoing. For me, I'm not even that interested in him anymore. In all fairness, that's why I think the boxing world has given me a new energy. I was kind of tired of all the politics and stuff that's happening in the new energy. I feel so much more revitalized in training. Yeah, so I'm just ready to take this one.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, Michael. Great to be on the channel.
Wicked, man. Thank you.
See you soon. Thank you.